in the afternoon. In the meantime, 6 o'clock tonight, Brett Baird takes the stage here at Fox News. Brett, yesterday to celebrate Mother's Day, you know, women love going to the hockey games, don't they?
Yeah, there's my family. The Bears were out in force for the Caps game.
That's great.
Last night. Unfortunately, we couldn't take them across the finish line. Lost to the Rangers, so Game 7, here we come. But it was a lot of fun. There was not enough sugar to keep them up. We had to leave early.
There never is.
It's a school night.
What was the sense as the Capitals mounted that comeback? Was there some hope in the Bear family and in the stadium?
Yes, I mean, it was getting exciting there. And then we had to go because it was a school night, and we couldn't take them across to the victory. But we have big hopes for Game 7.
Hey, listen.
Really? In New York?
Well, we're not going to go to New York, but
hey,
we have hopes still.
Good Mother's Day.
My wife and I and your colleague Peter Ducey and his sister went to the Nationals game over the weekend. We sat in Ed Henry's seats. They're really good. You know, I don't know what you're paying him, but he's got some good seats.
I know. He's connected here. He's a big Nats fan.
Don't you think you should, if you were nicer to him, Brett, you'd get a shot at those seats?
Yeah.
That's true. We'll see. We'll see what he gets assigned today.
Speaking of getting paid here, did you hear about this, Brett? 14 NFL teams have been paid $5.4 million. That's over $5 million.
Taxpayer money.
That's right, by the United States military to honor veterans at the game. So most of the time when you see these great ceremonies take place at the games, flag comes out, we're saluting our veterans and soldiers. You think this is a great move by the teams to do this. We think they're doing it on their own. Now we're hearing they're actually billing our military.
In some cases.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing when you think about it. You had Senator Jeff Flake from Arizona saying it was egregious and unnecessary waste of taxpayer dollars because most people, as you say, in those stadiums believe that the teams themselves are honoring these vets and the hometown heroes and all of these events. $5.4 million over 3 years, most of it coming from the National Guard. The Guard says, listen, it's a good promotion for us. It's a good recruiting tool. I think there is just this bad taste about it that you didn't know that they were being paid for it.
Yeah. Exactly. But at the same time, you know, the teams are out to make money, and they do a lot of stuff for money. I think if people just knew that this was underwritten by, in many cases, the National Guard,
it would take away from it.
Yeah. Let them know.
And it's not all teams, it's the 14 teams listed there.
Bottom line is that it's a good feeling for the people in the stands.
It's great.
And you know, we are honoring the vets, but it's as you look at the dollar amounts, you know, it's interesting that we didn't really know that until now.
I think it's just surprising that the teams would actually accept the money, right? We've asked our viewers what they thought. Should they take the money? Did they need it?
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the GOP. And you saw a lot of the candidates spread throughout the Sunday shows trying to get some publicity, and they open themselves up some tough questions and some dismissive, kind of insulting questions in some cases. Perhaps this exchange is emblematic of that between Chuck Todd and Carly Fiorina.
Why did HP's board fire you, and why on the day that they did, the stock went up nearly 7%?
Well, they did fire me. I've been very open about that. I was fired in a boardroom brawl. We had board members who were leaking information out of the boardroom. You know, the truth is this. It is a leader's job to challenge the status quo. And when you do, you make enemies.
Yeah, didn't they fire the last host of Meet the Press and the ratings went up? But that's unrelated. Then after that, Carly Fiorina actually sent out a tweet for Chuck Todd, who also asked her about, you know, that domain thing.
Because the domain thing said that somebody else bought her domain and listed all the people that she evidently laid off during her years as CEO of Hewlett-Packard.
And they said, how could she let this slip? How could you not claim your own domain?
So she says, thanks, Chuck Todd, for having me on Meet the Press this morning. By the way, check out chucktodd.org. And if you go to chucktodd.org, it actually takes you to Carly Fiorina Wants to Be President's site.
Yeah, she did the same thing with Seth Meyers after, you know, she was confronted by that same thing. Listen, lessons learned. One, buy all the domain names.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and take care of that if you're running for president. Listen, the questions about her time at HP, I think, are legitimate because there are, you know, questions in the business community about her leadership there. Whether the tone and tenor of those exchanges was the same as it would have been, another candidate. Who knows? But I think that, both Huckabee on the Sunday shows and Fiorina actually came out of it pretty well, because they can then turn it around and say, hey, listen, we're fighting the mainstream media.
I agree with you, too. I'd like to add to this, just to give you some color on the Huckabee situation. He was asked a question about some of the products he endorsed, including one for diabetes, when he was in between being governor, when he was at Fox, and when he was in between running for president, which is now. I thought he gave a pretty good answer for that. He says, I'm not embarrassed to say if something could help you with diabetes, I'm going to support it. Plus, you're in the free market. I believe there's guys like Ronald Reagan who advertised for a few products in between become governor and president and when he was an actor.
Yeah, sure. But listen, these are all fair game questions. If you're going to run for president, all of it is on the table. And so expect more and more of this as these people go out to different media outlets. I think the biggest questions that we have on the other side, the Democratic side, haven't been answered. Hillary Clinton's taken 8 questions since launching her campaign for president, and hopefully the questions will be spread fairly around.
By the way, I looked at brettbaird.org. As it turns out, that takes you to the special report page, for which, and he's going to be hosting it tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Time.
And we will be
We're
there.
Trying. We're trying.
Hasselbeck's been trying to get your name for a while, so make sure you lock that up with a long 5-year commitment.
So trying hard.
Thanks, Brett.
We'll see you at 6.
See ya.
All right.